base has dropped again. We're back. It's SDH PM, 7 o'clock. Monday night, July 13th. You notice there's only two of us. Jess has had a long day, wiped out, so Jess had to bail on us. It's okay. We'll be all right. We can hold down the fort. You guys had some questions we didn't get to earlier in our ridiculous show that covered all kinds of stuff, including Morrison's Cafeteria, Jell-O, and malls. It was weird. But we talked a lot about Atlanta United and the New York Red Bulls as well. So if there's any remaining questions about that, we'll take them. You want to talk about Manchester United giving up a goal late, having the chance to go into third place, and then...
90 plus 6.
Still okay. Ole's still all right, but still. We do have some good news from a friend of the show, the Beast. The Beast.
Yes.
You know the Beast. Don't look at me like that. You know the Beast.
Like Marshawn Lynch, what? Adebayo
It has nothing to do with this.
Adebayo Akinfenwa, for the second time in the history of the show, has taken the team to a promotion spot.
All right, here's the deal. Just a real quick run on who the Beast is. First, you need to follow The Real Akinfenwa on Twitter. Needs to happen. It should have happened before. Do it now. Mm-hmm. He is a large man. He is an older man in terms of a professional soccer player. He went to Wickham, 4 years ago?
I think so, yeah. After he was out of contract from AFC Wimbledon, I think that's where he ended up, yeah.
Went to Wickham, and now, after today, Wickham is in the championship for the first time ever. This is what Akinfenwa had to say after the match to Sky Sports.
This is not the first time we've met under these circumstances. Is it even sweeter this time around?
So much more. Hold on. Tell me what we did, because I don't know what we did. Tell me what we just did.
Well, you've got yourself a place in the championship.
I don't think they heard you in the back. Tell me what we did.
You've got yourself a place in the championship.
Look. Let me calm down.
Don't calm down. Keep going.
I want to thank God. Because today he made the impossible possible.
Amen.
And my next story, 4 years ago, I stood in front of you and I was technically unemployed. 4 years ago I was here and I was technically unemployed.
That's correct.
And what you say? Let me tell you something. The only person that can hit me up on WhatsApp this time is Klopp. So we can celebrate together. You get me?
Now listen, I have to tell you, our hearts went out to you last week. You were very transparent, very honest of what happened, without getting into all the details of that. Do you feel vindicated tonight with this?
You know what? There's a time for me to speak upon that, and I will speak on it. Today is about, listen, for me, life and football is all about opinions. 4 years ago, somebody gave an opinion on me, and that was their opinion. And I hope my story shows that the only opinion that matters is the opinion you have about yourself. And I was lucky and blessed to find a manager and players who believed in me. So we are here today, and I'll say it for the people in the back. Wickham's in the championship. Wait. I'll say it one more time. Wickham's in the championship. Wait! People in the back didn't hear me. Wickham is in the championship.
That's awesome.
For those of you, one more time for those in the back.
The Beast, you just go look up Akinfenwa highlights if you've never seen this guy. Mm-hmm. You see him and you don't think he can do the things he does. He is a very non-traditional number 9.
Yes, he is a defense. He's a how do we say, a zero technique in college football. He's a defensive lineman he'd be like a nose tackle.
Yeah, no, he probably could play it if you needed him to. I mean, he's just an amazing guy. His story's great, and to see that and have that chance to be part of taking a team up to the championship at 38, right?
Yep, 38. Get that. Okay, here's his history. FK Atlantis, Barrytown, Boston United, Leyton Orient, Rushden and Diamonds, Doncaster Rovers, Torquay United, Swansea City, Millwall, Northampton Town, Gillingham, back to Northampton, back to Gillingham. Then he was with my AFC Wimbledon guys and got us up to League One in 2016 when he was, as you heard in the interview, when he was basically out of a job. His last game was past the end of his contract, wasn't going to be renewed, kicked the winning PK, got AFC Wimbledon to League One. Ever since, he's been with Wickham, 46 goals in 152 appearances since then, and they are in the championship. Now, all right, he's listed. I'm just going to put it this way. He's listed at 225. See, I was wondering if I should
225? What?
I was wondering if I should wait before you finish that. Before I told you.
I mean, I'm not going to say anything because I put on some weight during quarantine, but 225? Man.
Because what's the translation of stone to pounds?
I don't know. It sounds off.
What is it? I always thought it was like 22. It's like 22 stone is 10 pounds or something like that.
I'm not sure exactly.
But stone to pounds chart. Okay, here we go. All right, so 1 stone is 14 pounds.
Okay.
So he's listed at 20. He's listed at 20 stone. I've seen 20 stone.
Okay.
So 20 times 14 would be what? 280?
Yeah.
That'd be more accurate.
That sounds a little more accurate. I hope the sounds my audio is a little bit better, Turner. Thanks for hanging out with us, Turner Kirby. I've been battling back and forth on trying to sync this sound a couple different ways. It decided to get weird when my computer updated, so it's been a fight ever since. Let me know if this just sucks or if this is better or what. I don't know.
That's what SDH PM is all about.
Yeah, it is. You almost made me spit my beer all over the camera. That would have been bad. But that's what happens when Akinfenwa gets to the championship.
Yeah, so I can't. Oh, and Gareth Ainsworth, who looks like he's a refugee from an 80s heavy metal rock band, is their manager.
Oh, he's awesome too, yeah.
And the long hair, the double denim, the lucky shoes, and Ainsworth, I think, is one of the longest tenured managers in the EFL. So good for Wickham. They've got an ice cream sponsor on the front of their jersey. How can you go wrong with that?
Nice. Very nice.
And Deep Dens, I think. And somewhere here in Office HD, actually, I can stare at the profile off to my left, and I can see my Wickham Wanderers scarf, as a matter of fact. So absolute mazel tovs and congratulations and tips of the hat to Wickham for knocking off Oxford off of a PK. And so they win 2-1. They head up to the championship, and the beast is unleashed in the championship. I love every single minute of that. But one more time, for those in the back, Wickham is going to the championship.
It's madness. It's absolute madness. Hopefully my mic will stop popping. I brought it down a little bit, but I'm still a little loud. So let's try to fix this on this board. I've got like 3 different audio levels to deal with at the moment, so hopefully this is decent.
Okay.
Joe Johnstone's hanging out with us on Twitch as well. He's missed everything today.
Yep. All right, so I had random questions that had happened to me during the afternoon that I wanted to bring in before we got into other topics as well. And I figured Beast would be a part of this. Okay.
These are always scary.
All right, so how long does it take you to break in a toothbrush?
What? Like,
because
what?
Like when you buy a new toothbrush, how long does it take? How long does it take you to break it in to where it's not like just really hard, nasty bristles, and it's actually doing its job, and you're not like spilling toothpaste? What kind of toothbrushes
are you buying, sir?
Hey, new ones, because my old ones they ran out of their effectiveness. So it was a new toothbrush that was bought, and I was trying to figure out if it was just my motor functions that was causing me to spill the toothpaste all over my shirt, or if it was just the notion of the new toothbrush and it not being used to me yet.
I'm going to lean to something's off, because I've never had a toothbrush that I felt like I needed to break in.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's a new toothbrush. It's not just something that sits there and it's like it's ready to go or something.
Wow. How do you break in a toothbrush, John? Why don't you tell us?
By use,
Okay.
I guess.
So you said it's not ready to go when you open the package. What do you have to do?
I guess you have to use it until it's ready to go, or you throw it underwater until the bristles are ready or something. I don't know. I was just trying to figure out how you break in a toothbrush.
I mean, okay, so Joe's with you. He says you have to break in a toothbrush.
See? Told you.
Isn't it if it gets too soft, it's time to change it? Yeah, now
Right,
change it,
yeah.
it's fine, but
Yeah.
I mean, you use it. Like,
Right.
There's nothing else you do to break it in. You just
So then
use
it's just
the
like
thing.
so it's a grin and bear it situation until it just is comfortable, is what you're saying.
I guess. And ropes is about where I'm at here. It's like you can get bristles of differing hardness.
True.
And
Yes,
if you
I'm aware.
get hard bristles, then they're probably uncomfortable early on because
They
they're
are.
hard.
Yes, they are.
But if you get other bristles, they're not. Okay, thank you, Joe, because I was confused because I still don't know how you break in a toothbrush. You just use the thing.
So okay. So I basically have just used my new toothbrush for the first time this afternoon.
And it wasn't good, I guess.
Well, I was spilling the toothpaste all over my shirt, and so I had to grab a
That's just
towel.
your own problem. That
a motor
has nothing
function.
to do with the toothbrush.
It's a motor function problem, yeah.
Good grief. Okay.
And then my follow-up question.
There's a follow-up.
Yeah, because as always, I'm accompanied here at Office HD when we're doing the show. When you brush
Me
your
too.
teeth, yeah. See, there you go. Oh, so who'd you pick tonight?
Terrapin Los Bravos.
Okay.
And there's a Classic City Lager coming after that.
Okay.
It's my
So
last Los Bravos.
my follow-up question having to do with toothpaste and soda is that after you brush your teeth, do you just go ahead and bite the bullet with whatever drink that you want to have, knowing that there's going to be that toothpaste
No,
aftertaste?
that's not that easy. You got to be careful with that one because some
That's what I'm
stuff doesn't work very well after toothbrushing.
Yeah, like toothpaste and Diet Dr. Pepper. It doesn't go
No,
well.
that's probably not good.
Nope.
Orange juice is bad after brushing your teeth.
Right.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do to help you with this, John. You should have learned these things by now, I think.
Shiva wanted to know if I turn on the toothbrush before you put it in my mouth. Actually, no, this is manual. It's not an electric.
I do like the battery powered ones. I've changed to those in the last few years. I like them a lot.
So yeah, I was trying to figure out, if I was alone in just either biting the bullet and just having the drink that was with me, or trying to figure out if I should dance around it and drink other things. Depends on how desperate I am to drink what I have next to me. Yeah, I guess. But I didn't know if I was alone in the toothpaste aftertaste and drinking soda or drinking something after it.
Okay.
I had to.
Ropes wonders if the Mountain Dew is wearing down the teeth.
No, it's not, because I'm not drinking. Remember, Ropes, I only do the one a day, and it's during the morning show. The rest of the day, it's
a whole 2 liter, but it's just one a day.
Yeah, exactly. So as you see right here, for those watching on Twitch, here's my best friend.
Jeez.
No googly eyes or nothing.
Oh, no, I hate that stupid commercial.
But yeah, so this is what we have, and that'll get cracked open in the morning. And then after that glass is done,
Mountain Dew's even worse.
then Mountain Dew is even worse after toothpaste. So
No, warm Mountain Dew is even worse.
It's not warm though. That's the point.
Yes, it is. It's not in a refrigerator.
So here's my prediction.
What
for
is
League
your
One-
prediction,
for
sir?
the championship?
Uh-huh.
Wickham will be in the championship longer than Bolton will be in League Two.
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet.
So,
The Colonel is hoping. He says Swansea hoping not to be there when Wickham arrive.
yeah, yeah, really.
How are the Swans these days?
They're in that scrum that's trying to get into that third playoff spot. So let me effort the table here while we're talking about it. And it's still Leeds, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait for Bielsa to come back into the Premier League. That's going to be so awesome. Right now, Leeds is at 84 points, 3 points ahead of West Brom. with 23-2 is 46. 3 matches to go. West Brom 3 points behind in the automatic promotion spots. 3, 4, 5, and 6. 3 and 4 look like they're pretty well set. Brentford and Fulham at 78 and 76 points. And then 5 and 6 right now, that's the street fight. Nottingham Forest is at 69 points in 5th. Cardiff is 6th at 64. But from 6th through 12th, you're only separated by 4 points. Cardiff at 64, Swansea at 63, Preston, North End, Millwall at 62, Derby County at 61, Bristol City at 61, Blackburn Rovers at 60. So the run-in from 6 through 12, that one's going to be fun.
Yeah, that's going to be ridiculous. How many matches left?
3.
Very interesting.
3. So it's good news for the championship with Wickham coming up and the street fight coming to the end. But I still cannot wait for Bielsa to be a part of the Premier League with Leeds. That's going to be so much fun.
Colonel, watch it. I like the Coke Energy. He says, don't get me started on the Coke Energy. Colonel's going to get fired up about it.
Uh-oh.
It's okay. I like the Coke Energy. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I don't like coffee. I wish I did.
No,
I've tried. I will
coffee.
occasionally do it when I need to. It's got a lot of milk and sugar in it. It's the only way I can do it. Not a fan of the coffee. I've just never gotten into it. All right, lots of different stuff. We're just going to jump around random fire. You got questions, whatever they are, if they're weird, all good. Let's do it. We got about 40 minutes or so before we get games tonight. LAFC and Houston, right?
Yep, LAFC is minus 156, courtesy of our friends at Odds Portal. And Houston is at plus 351 to win. Your draw option is at plus 336. Nightcap at 10:30, Galaxy and Portland Timbers. Galaxy's plus 164, Portland plus 148. And your draw option is at plus 260.
If you got one of those bad cranberry paired juice boxes, not the apple one, that's okay. Like, they'll make cranberry and pineapple or cranberry and whatever. One of the weird cranberry combinations.
So cran weird, basically.
Yeah, throw that on Houston. For some reason, I got a feeling. I think LAFC is going to struggle more without Vela than most people are. It might be completely wrong. Brian Rodriguez could show up and remind us why they paid a lot of money to bring him in last year, but I just wonder what they're going to look like without Vela. So, and I do have some high hopes for Houston. I think defensively there's some questions, but that front four, Tomas Martinez, Memo Rodriguez, Mara Manotas, Albert Ellis, that's really good. And Manotas and Ellis could be playing for their futures. Yep. They might be sold in the next window if things go well. So I think Houston could pull the upset.
Yep, 2 games in the USL Championship on ESPN Plus. At 8 o'clock, Oklahoma City Energy and FC Tulsa. OKC's at plus 119. FC Tulsa is at plus 208. The draw's at plus 227. 10 o'clock Eastern, Sacramento and Tacoma Defiant. Sacramento is minus 526. Tacoma is at plus 1047, and your draw is at plus 511. NWSL After Dark is at 10 o'clock. Sky Blue and North Carolina Courage. The Courage are at minus 250. Sky Blue's at 530, plus 538. And the draw is at plus 333. Them's your numbers for the night.
Okay, this is kind of interesting. So, FC Dallas sent out a fan guide to their season ticket holders, their members.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff that was in there was sent out this morning. Anticipated schedule release for the rest of the season is late this month, late July. MLS is going to leave letting fans in stadiums up to state regulations, which we expected. Those could change on the fly. Of course, in this, they're going to spell out what it would look like at the moment, which could look very different by the time the schedule's released and could look very different by the time games are going to happen. The things that they have said in the Dallas one: first 2 seats in each aisle left empty, at least 2 seats between people or groups. So if you're a family, you can sit together. Mask requirements are uncertain at this time, but it will be whatever the state requires. An effort to make everything contactless. Plenty of things not offered or adjusted to make things contactless. And season ticket holders in Dallas will have a choice to opt in to the 2020 matches. They can pick some. They can roll over games as a credit for 21. That's what Dallas is doing. On Reddit, people are like, oh, this is a stupid idea to have fans. They're not going to send something out and say, we're definitely not if your first home game isn't the beginning of September. You know, you can't call it yet. So you're going to have a plan. I'd rather them have a plan and say it's going to be up to the state requirements for final yes or no. But this is what we're going to do at this time if we have the go-ahead. That's fine. Don't overreact to that. But the anticipated schedule release being in late July, that's a little bit earlier than I thought. I thought they might try to hold that off until the week of the final of this tournament. So stay tuned. We could have an update on the rest of the season sooner rather than later when it comes to MLS. Stuff on Twitch before we move on. Atlanta Phoenix had some internet problems earlier, had some comments on the Charlotte conversation. Charlotte or Carolina's United is something that Atlanta Phoenix liked when he saw it earlier. So many Uniteds, it doesn't work. Like, if you didn't have a bunch of Uniteds, I get the concept. I think it could be pretty interesting. Charlotte Town or Carolina Monarchs is what Atlanta Phoenix likes. No matter what they go with, it will be made or broken by the crest. I did not like Atlanta United, but after seeing our badge, our jersey, etc., I can't imagine another name. I've heard that from a lot of people. Like, they were meh on the name when it leaked. The crest made it work, and especially the story of it made it work. So they're going to have to nail that. If they have a great name, but they blow the rest of it, it doesn't matter. It's going to be bad.
Yep.
Let's see. Ropes is trying to figure out how to mark the beast. I'm not doing it. I'll tell you that much. I'm not getting into a corner kick trying to mark that guy. I'm picking somebody else. I'm very quickly picking somebody else.
Yep.
Shooter McGavin, our New England Revolution fan, is in. What's up, Shooter?
What's up, Shooter? Shooter
says the Galaxy suck this year. They have. That's accurate. Shooter's dead on that one. I want to see what they look like in this tournament without Jonah Dos Santos. Yeah. And I want to see if they can, now that maybe it's been long enough, they can realize that Chicharito is not Zlatan.
Yeah.
Don't just pump in 1 billion crosses in a match and expect Chicharito to go up and win everything. That's not his game. Play to his feet. Play through Christian Pavón.
Yep.
I'd love to see Efrain Alvarez play in this tournament and play a good bit. I'm not sure. I think there were some questions about his overall fitness. So I want to see Chicharito do well, but Shooter's right. They've kind of sucked this year. That's not inaccurate. Yeah. We'll see tonight how they look against a Portland team that I think will have no problem being the heels of this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
They will come in. They'll be defensive. They don't care. Valeri has one great play. They win 1-0. Cool.
Boom. Done.
All good. I want to see if Giovanni Savarese wears the bright blue suit on the sideline in the Orlando Heat. That suit's amazing. It's a very dark, but somehow bright shade of blue. It's an epic
like
suit.
a velour sheen depending on where the light is.
No, there's no velour. Don't put that on him. He's not a 70s pimp, John.
No, what I'm saying is that it's kind of like that where velour has that look. If you're looking at it one way, it's dark and dull. If you look at it a different way, it's lighter and then kind of shines at you.
Bruh.
I'm not saying that the suit is in fact velour. I'm just saying it has velour tendencies.
No, not going to go there.
Right.
It's just a really weird, bright but dark suit, and I'd love to see him wear it and see if he sweats through the thing down in Orlando.
You don't care.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't care as long as they win. He might have 5 of those suits. I don't know. He might have them. It's a closet full of those suits. Gio's got some swag to him. He'll break out some wild shoes too. Like, I want to see what Gio's doing on the touchline tonight. I'm intrigued by this now that we started talking about it. Ropes with a question. He thinks that number on Houston is low. I don't know. I would be tempted. I would be very tempted.
In a game one situation?
In a game one situation where things get weird anyway, and with the Galaxy's As Shooter said, they suck. Like they defensively are bad. So, and Houston's got a great attack. And LA hasn't been doing much in the attack in the first 2 games, and that's where Houston's weakness is. So, I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. I'm talking myself into Houston in this match. I'm intrigued now. All right, Ropes asks about the North Carolina Courage. Might they sit folks to rest tonight? They could, because they really haven't out-and-out sat people in this tournament. They've rotated, but they haven't just thrown a rest lineup out there. Sky Blue was really good in the last match. I want to see what Sky Blue does, because I think they hit on something in the last match. Zerboni and Cujo together in the midfield. Onamanu up top. I think they need her up top. I think they need to go with what worked. So Sky Blue needs to keep going with what worked. North Carolina could do what they want. They could play anybody who hasn't played in the tournament right now, because they've already got number 1 sealed up. So we shall see on that one.
Let's just say North Carolina puts a rest lineup out there, and Sky Blue wins tonight. Because right now Sky Blue is in that gaggle of folks that are determined by goal difference, and then you're going to go into multiple tiebreakers, and you're going to go down to rock, paper, scissors if Sky Blue loses. But if Sky Blue wins, then they go up to second in the table, because you would assume goal difference in a victory would increase. So that would put them above Washington in goal difference, and they could finish as high as second in the table with a win tonight. If they lose, then they're with multiple teams with 4 points. If it's a draw for some reason, then it's going to come down to goal difference. And right now they would have goal difference on OL Reign and be the 3 seed.
Tell us about that goal difference again. If they win, what happens to the goal difference?
No, I'm just saying it would increase, I would imagine.
You would imagine?
Yeah.
I think that's a definite. That really threw me off. I was just trying not to start giggling when you said that.
Well, why would you stop giggling?
It was a funny one.
Why would you stop giggling? But no. So they could be two, they could be the 2, they could be the 3, they could be stuck in tiebreaker hell. So depending on how badly they would lose. I think if they lose 2-0, then it goes to rock, paper, scissors to determine the 4 or the 5.
If they lose 2-0, then they're on -1 with 3 other teams. Yeah. Portland is stuck in last, so they'll play North Carolina no matter what. The rest of it, who knows yet. Washington will play Chicago or Sky Blue, depending on how things go. So we know that much. Reign's in 3rd, and they could play a lot of people, so we'll just have to wait.
So, fun with tiebreakers this evening if North Carolina loses this match.
You can figure that one out and tell us. I'm going to not try to give myself a headache.
I ain't touching nothing until an end result, and that's NWSL After Dark tonight. So that one will be
your Norwich friend is here hanging out.
What, Michelle Not a Lab?
Uh-huh. Also known as Shelly Ray on the Twitch.
There you go.
John, heard you paid homage to Norwich a few days ago. Hopefully they'll do away with relegation this season, and we can pretend it never happened. That's a bold call.
I heard that Buendia might be getting some interest from La Liga. I think it was Atletico Madrid. I think that might be interested in Buendia. But this is the thing. You're going to have Pookie, Aarons, Cantwell, Buendia. Tim Kroll's probably going to get some interest from other championship teams, if not some teams at the bottom of the Premier League, just to fill in roster space. So finances, obviously not necessarily that much of a concern, but you could see a sell-off when it comes to Norwich in the championship. And then do they continue to be one of those yo-yo teams that we've talked about in years past, where they're kind of a tweener, or are they like what we've been discussing with Huddersfield, Stoke,
No,
Hull?
I don't think Norwich is that, because I think they've managed themselves. I mean, they're going to have years where they get promoted, and they're going to have years where they stay up. I don't think, and don't kick me when you see me, Michelle, but I don't think they're going to be a Champions League team. unless you have a magical year. But I think they can stay up. But I also think they're a team that's going to always be at risk of coming back because they're not going to get caught in the wishful thinking of spending like a lunatic and put themselves at risk of worse. Like, I don't think they will be a team that gets relegated and then be in a relegation fight in the championship.
Yeah.
I don't ever see that for Norwich. I think they're a club that will go back and forth. When they're really on and they put together a group that can stick together for a little while, then, yeah, they can be mid-table. They can go on a cup run. They can maybe edge into a conversation of qualifying for Europe. But that's the ceiling, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But they know what they are, and they run themselves very effectively. Whereas the others get close, and then they spin themselves into oblivion. Yes. And we've seen that far too many times. Thad Dooley with a question. We got 4 goalkeepers on the men's side, 2 goalkeepers on the women's side tonight. Does anyone pull a Tyler Miller tonight? That was crazy because I didn't even see a pump fake like there was going to be a cross. He stepped like he was faked and like he was going to cut off a cross. I don't know if he was trying to be the faker, but it looked awful.
He was the fakey.
And it's just like, oh, there's a giant hole there. I think I will just slot that home. Thank you.
Yep.
You made that a lot easier for me. I appreciate it. So, who's going to pull the Tyler Miller tonight? We got, who do we have?
Willis?
Nah, Willis is steady. Willis doesn't get caught up in that kind of stuff. Steve Clark, he would pull something different. I always think back to the 2015 MLS Cup final where the ball was tackled off of him for the opening goal. I don't think he's that goalkeeper anymore. I hope not anyway. Yeah. Bingham, I don't think he really makes those kind of big mistakes. It doesn't matter who's for the Courage, if it's LaBay or if it's Caitlin Rowland. I think they're both really steady. Yeah. It's not going to be Kaylin Sheridan. She's been the best goalkeeper in the tournament in the NWSL.
Right.
LAFC?
Yeah.
Maybe. Their goalkeeper is a little adventurous. Okay. Just saying. Let's see if he's starting first. He is. Vermeer.
Yeah.
A little crazy.
Yeah. So there you go.
I think he's the most likely. If you get something weird with a goalkeeper, my money's on Vermeer.
All right. In the construct of the show in the last 35 minutes,
that's frightening.
The number has gone down on Houston.
See what we did?
So you should have gotten onto the number when the show started.
Man, ropes, we had the opportunity. What's the number now?
Plus 363. It's gone down 20%, basically, from 511 to 363 in the span of 35 minutes. About 20-25%. And LAFC's at minus 159.
Definitely not touching that. That's Looney Tunes.
Yeah. Minus 156, and Houston's at plus 362.
I don't know. If you know people who know people, you might want to make a call on that one.
Yeah. So
for entertainment purposes only.
Yes, it's
BetMGM on the MLS website has them at plus 400. So you might want to call around.
Yeah.
You might want to shop around on your Houston Dynamo wagering right now.
Yeah. Let's see. Houston, Asian odds is at plus 420. B-Win's at plus 400. Most everybody else is in the plus 300s, anywhere in the mid 300 numbers, 336 to 363. So that's where we are. Averages at plus 361.
So we were not fair to the Houston Dynamo. We talked about Tomas Martinez in place of Darwin Quintero. He is in the lineup tonight, up front with Mauro Manotas, Albert Ellis. That is a beastly front three, with Memo Rodriguez, Boniek Garcia, and Matias Vera in the midfield. The backline's scary.
Yeah.
Valentin on the right side, he's come over from Portland. Lundqvist on the left, so-so. Minor Figueroa, I think, might have invented the game.
I was going to say, isn't he like 74 years old?
Yeah, I think he's 37 or 38 now. Kiki Struna is with him at center back, and Maric is in goal. He gets the start over Cody Cropper. Willis has moved. He's somewhere else. He's in Nashville. That's what it is. It's been a while since we've seen the rest of the league, okay? We're catching up.
Yeah.
But I still like the Dynamo in this, so there you go.
Kefsey on Twitter, in between shows, says, I'll say it again, at Charlotte MLS should expect that first in flight is a fight in terms of potential team names unless MJ23 is involved. Just ask Ohio or Rio for reminders. That said, there's no question who rules the air where Jordan is involved, and a GIF follows of Jordan with a rather nice dunk when his time was in North Carolina. Really, at Charlotte MLS, Kefsey continues, if you can't just do without flight, I mean, there is more than one meaning in Monarchs. Follows that up with a butterfly GIF. A neon butterfly. So Kefsey went down the Charlotte MLS train.
I've seen a couple others. Turner Kirby had one, Ric Flair FC.
Oh.
And somebody else on Twitter, I can't remember who it was, just call them the Charlotte Flares.
Oh.
Figured you would like that.
That'd be epic. And then all you have to do, the goal call writes itself. Oh, God, they get a goal on the board, and you have 60,000 people at they haven't been bought out yet, but 60,000 people at B of A just going woo. Oh, good Lord, that would be awesome.
That would be pretty good.
Oh, that'd be great.
Well, let me explain something.
Yeah, if you call them the Charlotte Flares, it'd be game over.
All right. What else we got on Twitch? Shooters with us on Houston. I hope I'm leading you down the right road. I hope I'm not doing bad things to your wallets. If so, I apologize. I blame it on Albert Ellis.
There you go.
I hope
Turner Kirby.
Kirby. Hold on. Ropes has got a better question that we have to answer.
Uh-oh. All right.
The real goalkeeper question is, who has the best mustache? I don't think we have any mustaches tonight, do we?
Tonight, mustaches? I don't think
Vermeer's not a mustache guy. I don't think.
Clark, wouldn't it be Clark by default?
Does he have a mustache?
I thought he did, or like a mustache beard kind of.
Vermeer's got a beard going on, so he might be the leader in the clubhouse. Clark has gotten maybe scruffy, but
yeah, he got scruffy. That's what I remember from Clark.
Let's see. Now I need to take a look at it. These are all older ones where there is no scruff going on. I don't know if Steve Clark qualifies, John. He's out of the running.
What a surprise.
Bingham doesn't have one, so I guess it's Vermeer by default. Vermeer's the winner on all the goalkeeper questions tonight.
There you go. Let's see. Colonel has chimed in on...
Shooter said if they want to make money, the Charlotte Flares would do it. They could buy Ronaldo after they sell all those jerseys.
There you go. Well, but then Ronaldo would have to want to come into the country, and then he probably would be served by papers the second he went.
I think that's already been washed away. We keep saying that at this point, but I think that got thrown out or something. I mean, there might be other ones, but I think that's been at least somewhat dealt with. That
has been decided, you're saying?
I think. I might be wrong.
The Colonel says...
Go ahead, sorry.
No, the Colonel says, hey, John, you got a problem with 74 years old? Yes, I'm talking to you.
That's true.
I have got zero issues with being 74 years old, sir.
It is true.
Shiva. So how will teams commute when regular season starts? Charter flights?
Yeah, they're going to have to. Charter flights, and where possible, they'll bus. It'll be one or the other. I don't think they do commercial at all. So, yeah, that would be my guess. There's a lot of questions. I mean, this is very difficult. I think when Major League Baseball gets started, MLS will learn a little bit about the way they handle it because they're going to markets. USL is trying to do as much by bus as possible, which is tough in some regions, but it is what it is. I would assume it's charter flights and buses, but It's so early in the process. I don't even know at this point. I don't know what it's going to look like later. I do think they will have something the rest of the year. I don't think this is the season, but I don't know what it looks like. It's too early to even speculate on it for me.
Your LAFC lineup is out. Looks like it is a 4-3-3, at least on the picture. Vermeer in net.
Dejan Jakovic at center back, and that's worrisome if you are an LAFC fan. Andy Nahar doesn't get the start at right back. Tristan Blackman does. And the rest of it's what you would expect. The midfield, Atuesta, Kay, and Blessing. I think Blessing's got to step up in the attack. And It's BWP up top in place of Diomande. And Brian Rodriguez and Diego Rossi flank him.
Yeah, and your bench, Cisniega, Silva, Harvey, Najar, El Munir, Guido, Cifuentes, Janelle. Nahar, thank you.
Andy Nahar.
El Munir, Guido, Cifuentes, Janela, Duke, Mosovsky, and Dio is on your bench.
There you go.
The lineup was presented by 2 airlines that do not sponsor this show.
You always want to do that. I mean, they're sponsoring somebody. We don't have an airline sponsor. You can mention them.
We need an airline sponsor.
We're not getting an airline sponsor, John.
ASA?
Huh?
ASA, maybe? Does that still exist?
No, we're not getting an airline sponsor. I don't want an airline sponsor right now. I don't want to have to take any extra flights at the moment.
Nope. Turner Kirby with a couple of things. He says, my college is downtown. This goes back to our discussion about malls from this morning.
Okay.
And Charlotte. He says, my college's town's downtown is known as Uptown Greenwood. Also, on the topic of clips from the show, I need to go back and clip Jason saying you, meaning the SEC, are being embarrassed by the Peach Belt in terms of COVID preparations. Never will hear it again.
Probably not. It's probably the only time that'll be said anywhere, but it's accurate. I think it's still accurate, sadly.
Yeah, I think so. And Turner had another thought, and I'm trying to find it. It was from his viewing habits over the weekend, and it had to do with watching the game from Lynn Family Stadium over the weekend in front of the 4,850, I believe, was what the announced attendance was.
It was a little bit less than I thought it was going to be, which that's good.
He says, watching Lou City in Pittsburgh, it feels weird to see fans in the stands, but also relieving at the same time. Hopefully many more to come in the coming months. Not saying it needs to be rushed, but just hoping.
Yeah, don't rush it. It was a little weird, I'm not going to lie. And there were some shots that I didn't really like to see.
Yeah.
People have to be responsible, and teams want to bring fans back, but people, when they make that step to going, have to be responsible, and the teams have to try to make them be responsible. And all that's very difficult. That's why it's hard to have anybody in the stands at the moment. I kind of think it's too early. We'll see if that changes. I think it was too early for that many people, at least. That felt like stretching it. I'm glad it wasn't 7, because originally I think they were talking around 7,000, and that was really concerning.
Yeah, 50%.
Yeah, it was less than that, so that helps some, but still a little more crowded in some spots than I would be comfortable with. But that's just me, and that's the thing here is, I don't know. Shooter's on fire tonight. Shooter's my favorite tonight. Revs games are always socially distanced anyway, so we're ahead of the curve per usual. Man.
Nice.
I mean, you have a big stadium, and when the team's good, the attendance is good. I think Revs fans take too much stick. But, yeah, you got a lot of room to spread out. That helps.
Oh, did you buy your Jell-O this afternoon?
No, I didn't. I forgot to buy Jell-O at the grocery store.
Because I didn't know if you had bought it and looked at the table of ingredients because of the Chris Hutchison question. Do you know what Jell-O is made from?
No, I know gelatin is part of this whole process because that's what makes it Jell-O. But I'm disturbed right now because I'm watching the replay of the Columbus-Cincinnati game on, I think it's on FS2, and they just went by the giant Skyline chili ad, which... Ugh.
I didn't know that they were one of the sponsors.
They're the official chili of FC Cincinnati,
which makes sense. But I also give MLS a lot of credit for the local sponsorship on the ends
Yep.
of the big billboard, because usually in these kinds of league events you see league sponsors across the board, supersized Adidas logos, which to me I was not bothered by it in its supersize. I'm not bothered by it being in the pitch in center circle, but I give the league a lot of credit for showing the local sponsors on the edges for this particular tournament. I thought that was a very cool move by the league.
Yeah, it's what you have to do right now. You're trying to make good for these people, so I will take it. Shooter says that the attendance is good because they give tickets to kids' soccer teams for free. I do notice, and I've always noticed this about New England, when the team is good, the numbers are pretty good, and the lower bowl, when it's full, it's not bad. It works. It can work. It's not as good as Seattle. I think Seattle was built a little differently, and the lower bowl being full in the ends, it feels a little bit better. I was there for MLS Cup in 2009, and it worked really, really well. I was there last year for the game, like an early start out there, and it was pretty full. It wasn't crazy intense. Portland was more intense, but Seattle was good. We haven't been in New England for a big crowd in the 2 years that we've traveled. I think both of the games were midweek, actually, so it wasn't a big crowd at all. I think both were Wednesday games, which didn't help. So
yeah,
I'd like to be at Gillette for a big crowd and really get a sense of what it's like.
Jason Nix, Jason, thank you for following me on Twitter. My ratio is still screwed up. I cannot follow you back.
OSG Nelson so he stops complaining about it, please.
Hey, I'd like to be able to follow more than 5,002 people, but Twitter's, what do you call them? Their percentages, it's like the ratio is 2.1 to 1, and so I've exceeded the folks that I want to follow for all of my conversations. Anyway. Jason Nix, he says, the Heat looked brutal this morning for the 9 a.m. game. Hope Atlanta United is ready for Thursday and can get off to a better start than Saturday. I feel like the weather delay and then the rush to get the game on TV did them no favors.
Was what it was. I mean, the morning games are weird. They're just strange. So George Bello talked about it today. Like, they didn't have a lot of time for warming up on Saturday. Maybe that had a factor in how things started early. You're going to be not in a normal frame of mind for a match at 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock. I think 5 o'clock wake-up call and 6 o'clock meal. It's going to be weird. So you got to maybe learn from what happened Saturday. And if you need to slow the game down for the first 15, 20 minutes and ease into it, okay, that's cool. I'll have an extra Coke Energy. Sorry, Colonel.
There you go.
Be all right.
Let's see. Anything else on Twitch? Because I've got one more on Twitter that we did not get to this morning, and I don't know how long this topic is going to take for the Overreaction Monday.
Go ahead. I think we're ready for it. We got about 9 minutes.
All right. Bartimus Prime from Overreaction Monday from this morning. He says, do any of the Athletic MLS writers actually like MLS?
Yeah, they do. I think a lot of them do. Some of them I wonder, but I think a lot of them do. I think a lot of the ones who cover more of the team side do. I think they really enjoy the league. I mean, I know Felipe does. I've talked to him about it. Yeah. But the reporting from some who cover it more on the national side here lately, it's been really strange. I don't necessarily understand the mindset. I don't know. I don't know. And like I've said many times, I'm not maybe the best person to talk about it because I would like there to be games because I would like to work.
Yeah.
I think you guys who listen to the show know that while I would like there to be games, we've talked about the safety protocols. We've talked about the things that are necessary. We've talked about all the things you have to do to be able to play safely, and how if you can't play safely, you can't play. I want them to do it safely because I want them to play. And I feel like there's some on that side of it who doesn't matter what you do, you can't play. And I don't think that's necessarily fair because I really worry about MLS's long-term viability if you don't play. And just like we talked about at the beginning of it, if they said they weren't going to come back, it's like, no, we can't do it. And Major League Baseball did, the NBA did, the NFL did. We know the NFL is going to play. It's going to happen. If you don't, you look second rate. And you always will. There's no coming back from that. I always look at it like the businesses who are trying to survive right now and find ways to keep growing. And we've done the virtual brewery tour, and I think that's a prime example. Yeah. Breweries who've had to figure out, like some of the breweries that we've talked to, like literally just opened a few months ago. And then they had to close down their tap room and figure out, well, what can we do? Like, we have beer that we have to do something with. Anderby, who we just talked to here lately, they had beer brewed, and it's like, well, what can we do? We're not set up to can it. We weren't ready for that. That was supposed to happen next year. And they had to figure out, like, well, how can we bottle it? How can we do something and get six-packs out to people because they can't come to the tap room? I want them to do that. I want them to figure that out. I want them to survive. I want MLS to figure out what it takes to survive. I think there's been a whole lot of negativity, and I think there's been a lot of bias against the league. And to me, a lot of it goes back to the CBA negotiations. And, yeah, the league played hardball at the end. They did. There's no way around that. It was the first time they ever did, and they did. And a deal got done, and at what cost, we'll have to see. But ever since then, the attitude's changed. And remember the article that, at the end of it, there was a whole paragraph, and one of the sentences was about saying that MLS doesn't care about the soccer. And that's a ridiculous thing to write. Of course they care about the soccer. It's what they do. What else is there if they don't care about the soccer? And the whole thing about the safety and all that, like, of course they care about the safety. There's no league if they don't have the players healthy.
Mm-hmm.
There's some things that have happened that I think have created this stuff, and it's not right. It's not fair. I don't think it's a good thing for the league. But as we've said a few times, and Shooter's right, MLS is better than it was 10 years ago. The Euro soccer snob side of it is bad, but that's what American soccer has been founded on for a long, long time. This is pre-MLS. This is pre the journalists who kind of subscribe to that theory now. I hate to see people trash the league when they don't trash the Premier League for bad defending. We see bad defending everywhere, right?
Yeah.
A lot of bad defending. But if there's bad defending in MLS, it's peak MLS. I made a funny. Do you do that about the bad defending you saw in La Liga? Or in Serie A, or in the Bundesliga, or in the Premier League? No. There's bad games in every league. There's good games in every league. I always come back to this, and it was really a revelation for me, because I wondered what it was like when I subscribed to Fanatis, and I started watching a lot of TIC during the Argentine season, and watched a lot of their news shows, and a lot of their opinion shows, as I'm trying to learn Spanish and get more comfortable hearing it and understanding everything. The Argentine league compared to MLS is pretty similar in level overall. It's why you see players come here and thrive. It's why, that can work. It's not dramatically better. River and Boca, maybe a little bit different conversation. Those are heavyweights. But your average match in the Argentine Superliga, pretty similar to your average MLS match. But they don't, in Argentina, in the sports industry and in the soccer industry, they don't trash their domestic league. They know what it is. It's not the Premier League. It's not La Liga. It's not Serie A. They want their players to go there. But they also enjoy and cover and celebrate their domestic league. You can do both. You don't have to diminish the domestic product. I don't think it accomplishes anything. And I was Shooter on this. I think that there's a lot of people who bash it because they want promotion relegation, bash it because they got mad about the CBA, bash it because they don't like playoffs, bash it because it's American. And it's getting to the point that it's silly, because this league is compelling. The league, in my opinion, I would rather watch a random MLS game than almost any other league in the world because of the parity, because of the playoff structure. The playoffs are amazing. I don't want to see Juventus win the title for the 10th time.
PSG.
I don't want to see Bayern Munich win the title for the 10th time. I don't want to see PSG win the title for the 10th time. England has gotten interesting, but Liverpool and Manchester City are so far ahead of the pack, and I don't think that's changing. So I want to see MLS continue to grow, but I also want to see people who talk about soccer in this country show it the proper respect. You don't have to suck up to it, but at least respect it, because if it doesn't keep growing, if it's not good, that doesn't do anything good for soccer in this country. That doesn't benefit it. So, Ropes calls it an inferiority complex. I agree.
Yeah.
I've thought that, and that's something Alexi Lalas said a while back. And look, I know Alexi Lalas can say some things to get a response. He's very good at it, but that's one I 100% agree, because it happens all the time. If it's American, oh well, let's pat it on the head and say it's okay, like good soccer job, good job. It's not, hey, Christian Pulisic right now is one of the best young players in the world. Oh, he's pretty good for an American. Like, stop. Frustrating. Thoughts?
Pretty good, period. Instead of saying pretty good for an American. Pretty good, period. I'm with you in the entire discussion. So I will second your motion to the floor, sir, considering that we are close to the top of the hour. LAFC is now minus 161. Houston is leveled off at about plus 368. No real change in the Galaxy and Portland numbers. Galaxy plus 167, Portland plus 145. But the volatility of the Houston number has been the revelation of the hour.
Yeah, it's been kind of wild.
Orlando.
So that is all that I have. I think we're caught up on Twitter. Toronto FC had a quick 2-sentence release that I've got to find quickly before we go.
Your match tonight, Shooter, is on Today NA. It's also on Twitter. You can watch on Twitter in English language. So it's not on Fox Deportes. It's on Today NA, but you can watch it on Twitter, Shooter, so you can get that. Go ahead.
Player update from Toronto FC. Toronto FC have confirmed that the player who received an inconclusive COVID-19 test result has tested negative on 2 subsequent tests and has been cleared to resume team activities.
Yep.
So
Good to see. KFC, no, there's no breakup with Felipe. Felipe's fine. It's not about Felipe with the Athletic. It's other stuff, and it's been frustrating. Oh, is it on Fox Deportes too, Shooter? It's on Today NA. It's on both. That's weird. Huh.
Because I'm looking at Beast supporter Rob Stone on Big Fox on FS1 as well, in a socially distanced studio getting prepared for these matches.
Wild. It's on both. I didn't think it'd be on Deportes and FS1 and Today NA. Wild. Okay. So Today NA won't have English language, and I don't think it'll be streamed because FS1 has it. So there you go. Sorry, I'm giving you bad information. We'll take you up just a little bit longer. We'll stop before kickoff for sure. I think we've caught up on everything. Shooter says this, and I think this is a smart person to mention in this. Mm-hmm. Shooter says, I like Twellman's commentary, not just because he's my guy. He doesn't on the league, but he has critical commentary of bad play. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he's passionate about the league, and he celebrates the league, and his passion comes through in his commentary. When he's upset about something, it's not because it's MLS or it's American. It's because it's something that he doesn't like.
Yeah, it's the soccer itself. It's not the location or the geography.
Or it's a rule or whatever. It's not always negative about the league because it's the league. That's great. Taylor is a big part of the growth of the league for a lot of people. And he gets a lot of opportunities now on ESPN on various platforms to be that guy. And it's very important that he continues to get that. And I hope that he does, because he's running with it. He is running with it and doing really well. And, yeah, he does draw people in. Every commentator, me, Twellman, Mike, anybody, There's people who like your style and don't like your style. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I respect his passion that he brings to it because it feels very genuine. So that's what I'm always looking for. I think Stuart Holden's the same way. I mean, they both played in the league, so I think they are maybe a little more protective of it. But they will criticize it. When it needs to be criticized, they will criticize it. And that's where it needs to be. It's not being a cheerleader, but it's not walking into the situation with a negative mindset.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
Rope said, was there any info on why Josie wasn't on the bench? Rest. And they've said, and I think he's going to be like your San Antonio Spurs situations, they're just going to sit him sometimes.
Yep.
He came back to the team late. He stayed during a lot of the coronavirus outbreak in Florida. They said he's fully fit, but I think he's going to be a guy that they, have load management absences with. You have to. Yeah. You have to make sure he's healthy for the moments where you need it. 100%.
Yeah. No, he was obviously he was not a part of the game day roster, but he was there under the overhang, kind of keeping an eye on things. He was
Maybe
part
he was
of
talking
the
trash.
See, I still want a naughty channel. See, I really just want a naughty channel because I think it would add. I mean, just think about the viewership that you could have if you had the naughty channel for this thing.
Okay, this is weird. I'm really baffled by this, and it's such a small thing. So it's in English on Fox Deportes as well. So Fox, because TUDN's got it, so TUDN's got the Spanish language.
Okay.
Fox Deportes isn't doing a Spanish language broadcast. They're just simulcasting the English language broadcast as well, and it's on FS1 in English. That's wild. That's really wild. Very interesting.
Some wild, wacky stuff, yes.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
Yes.
Last thing, Jason Nix, who has a scarf and a hat headed his way, along with some other goodies. That's
excellent.
Good timing, Jason. Thank you for supporting the show. We really, really appreciate it.
We need your scarf suggestions, people.
Yes. I hope ESPN continues to support Twellman, like his new short format show, too. They've definitely put some more resources to that. I mean, he started doing the Rewind show last year with, nothing.
Yeah.
And he got it on the air. That's awesome. I've been there and done that. I know how that mindset goes. But now they're giving him more resources for his Twitter show, and it's good. It is a good watch, and it's good before games. So I'm with you. Full credit to ESPN for supporting him. I hope they continue to, and I hope he runs with the opportunity and makes the most of it, because that's really important for the casual fan. His passion comes across if you are a basketball fan, a baseball fan, and you see Twelman talking about soccer. You can buy in because his passion is genuine. It's critical. USL's on ESPN too. Thank you, Ropes, as well.
That
so
is
I'm going to be
correct.
flipping between all these channels to see what's going on with all these games. NWSL at 10 o'clock, North Carolina Courage and Sky Blue. LA Galaxy and Portland at 10:30 on some channel. It might be on 5 different channels the way this is going tonight. I'm not going to look because we're going to get confused.
I know it's on
somewhere.
FS1. It's on FS1, that I know.
It might be on all the other ones too. Lots of soccer to watch tonight. Lots to talk about tomorrow morning. We will be normal time tomorrow. No, we won't. Sorry. We'll be
11:30 tomorrow.
Because there's a 9 a.m. game. God, I can't keep up. 11:30 tomorrow after the 9 a.m. game. Wednesday, is there a 9 a.m. game?
Wednesday, we are normal.
Okay. Wednesday, we are normal. Thursday, you're listening to 92.9 and radio.com because we have a game at 9 o'clock that I'll be calling, and I'm at the stadium at 6 a.m.
Yes.
Friday, we'll be back to a normal show.
Normal.
Wednesday night, we'll have the run-up for you as well. And
6:45 is when we're supposed to, that's our assignment, but 7 o'clock the run-up. So, recapping, 11:30 a.m. tomorrow. Normal show on Wednesday. Run up 7 o'clock Wednesday night with a cast of thousands, the SDH All-Stars. No original live show Thursday because Jason has breakfast and he's going to collapse. And then we're back to a normal hours on Friday. So that's our rundown for the run-up and the week.
Send Coke Energy my way because I'm going to need it. Y'all have a good night. Enjoy all the soccer. It'll be on Twitter, OSG Nelson. Follow him so he can stop complaining about it. I'm at Longshoe. I think I follow most of you guys. If I don't, ping me and I'll follow you. And we'll talk soccer tonight during all the games. So enjoy it. Mucha plata.
Mucha plata, y'all.